What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here. I am with Matt Camp here with Deal Machine, and we are officially not on week 3 of the Drawing for Dollars Challenge. We are on grind week. That's what I'm calling it. We're calling it grind week. This is going to be the week most people fail. This is the week where most people, just being frank, give up in the challenge of drawing for dollars and doing wholesaling deals. And this is exactly not the time to stop or the time to slow down, but this is the time to even push harder, because we have to do what most people aren't willing to do. One great quote I always follow in wholesaling real estate and life in general, but to get results that others don't, you have to be willing to do what others won't. And people aren't willing to drive for dollars every single day and put 100 leads in the CRM. They're not willing to do that. Most people aren't. But most people aren't willing to do what it takes to get rich in wholesaling, make their first $20,000, $30,000 in this business. And that's all about grind week today. So we're excited.
Absolutely, man. Great point in general. I mean, wanted to start off really on our end and just say, hey, we're halfway there. Keep it up. We're grinding. You know, again, like you said, this is kind of the point where things start to get tough, where it really does take you getting out there and starting to kind of establish processes that you're not just feeling like you're sprinting all the time, but you're able to kind of build this into your life, build this into your schedule, build this into what you're doing, where you can actually, commit some time and really whenever you're saying like, oh yeah, it's hard to find time to do this, it's hard to find time to get out there. What you're doing there is prioritizing different things in your life, right? Like, you're able to find time for the things that matter. So get out there, make this a priority for at least another 15 days and get out there and, get those first 30 done. And when you do that, you're going to see the momentum continue to snowball. You're going to see the small wins start to add up into bigger and bigger wins. You might land that first deal. We have people doing that, did last year and are getting there this year as well. So these next 15 days are crucial. And I love the mindset on grind week here, Zach. So thanks for kicking us off, man.
Let's pump it up, man. Let's get it.
All right. Awesome. So to kind of get us going, and I'll hit share my screen here on social as well, so that way you can pull it up here for us. Awesome. Perfect. So halfway there, I picked a few of the submissions that I loved, from this week. First of all, jump in the chat again. Matt Camp over here with Deal Machine. Work on partnerships over here. Have had a blast with you guys already. Just a couple weeks in, we're halfway there. You're making a ton of progress already. But even if this is your first time watching this, even if this is your first time jumping into this, you're not too late. Like, hey, you can get out there. You can follow through with what we're teaching. We're, day one, or rather week one, we really focused on building that list and shared a ton of pro tips around how to do that. As you can see, you've got Jose, Kenny, Alex. We had a bunch of people turn in the homework. These are just a couple that I picked out. They followed that playbook. They followed that mindset of getting out there and continuing to add leads. We'll do a brief recap today on the challenge on, that kind of week 1 and week 2 training. So, if you have been a part of this the whole time, awesome. You'll keep getting those reps in, you'll keep getting better. You'll probably pick up on a few pro tips that you may not have in the past. If you're brand new to this, if this is day one for you personally, awesome. Hey, you've got time to catch up. You've got time to get out there and continue to start to drive, start to find leads, start to market to them. We'll catch you up on this, but also you'll get the replays over email too. So make sure to pay attention to your email. If you're watching this on YouTube, on social media and Facebook, or what have you, make sure to go to drivewithzach.com, like Zach just mentioned right there. Go ahead, man.
No, yeah. The link will give you a replay of the event, everything like that, resources, homework, stuff like that.
Yep. So the homework, the replays, the giveaways, all that stuff we sent out over email through that email list. So make sure to sign up there for free. You get it. You become part of this, and excited to kick off through today, man. So I do want to mention, we had, and I love seeing people already network in the chat right here. So again, continue to put where you're watching from. We have people team up and do deals together from this thing, in the past. So make sure to do that. And again, I see you guys leading with action. That's the key to all of this. So no matter what, we're a tool over here to help you find off market deals, but we're just that. We're a tool. You gotta pick up that shovel and dig with it, right? So we're going to show you that playbook here, today, and as well as the last two. So make sure to be on that email list to get those giveaways, or to get those replays as well.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about this in the previous two rather. But right now is such an exciting time to get out there. Us as investors, us as wholesalers, are more valuable in times of uncertainty. And right now with, trying to find a deal on market is brutal. trying to, demand is still high on the other side. So you have a great opportunity that if you can go out and find those deals, you've got the other side, waiting for them. You've got those cash buyers. You've got the off market demand there, on that side. So if you can go out and find great deals, find truly motivated sellers, find people who are dealing with uncertainty, and offer them certainty, offer them, the ability to move quickly, move conveniently, move for cash, move as is. Like, you can bring all these solutions to the market to people who need them. If you're able to be the one out there going and finding these deals right now, you are going to win big. So now is the time to step up and take action. Zach, is there anything, I know we've talked about the last couple of weeks, but is there anything you want to reiterate for people who are just jumping into this?
I mean, first of all, drivewithzach.com for if you want the giveaways, things like that. But most importantly, this challenge is just about consistency and putting in the work. And so we've seen the pictures of people putting the work. We see the checks, and everyone that puts in the checks, they always do the work. And so if you want to get the results, you're going to have to do the actions. I've always said actions equal results. If you want that result, that deal, you're going to have to put the actions in, and it will all follow.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's what we've been trying to give people, that playbook, and really, have that mindset moving through this, is getting into the grind week, getting into putting in those consistent actions where they don't just, you don't just show up one day to the gym, get in 2 hours of working out and you're ripped the next day, right? It's a matter of getting out there and building great processes, building great systems, so that way you come every day, every week, and put in the work that's needed to again, do things and get things others won't. So, I think our whole goal with this is to help those would-be wholesalers get started by finding that great deal, showing you exactly where, exactly how to do it. The challenge is giving you the playbook over the last 2 weeks and over these 2 weeks to come. We're at the midway point. It's not too late. Join us, catch up. We'll give you guys tips again today on how to catch up. But again, invest in yourself. Watch those replays via email, and then jump into this. And you can, again, it'll take a couple extra hours, but you've got the opportunity to jump in and catch up to where we are now. So the people who've gone and done this, Mark did one in March with us. He said the challenge transformed his life in a positive way, created memories that'll last a lifetime for him, because he used it as a way to get his family, his son, into this too. So we see people jumping in and not just going all in for themselves, but trying to create generational wealth, generations, and getting them inspired and out there to take action. It's awesome to see like what you do with your dad, for example, Zach. So it's that type of relationship, man. Jared came out there, said, hey, if it wasn't for this challenge, I wouldn't get on the horse and take action. And that's the thing that we want you guys to take away from this, is getting on the horse, taking action. And like Santiago said, do those small, consistent actions daily, and anything's possible. Those small wins add up to big wins. So that's our goal with this. Deal Machine over here, we're coming into this trying to give you a tool to make it more easy and effective to do this. A lot of what we teach, you can also do by hand. You have that option as well. But we want to make it just as easy and effective as possible for you to get out there and use the power of technology to give everyone the power of real estate investing, right? That's our goal with our company mission. And really in general, we really hang our hat on being the highest rated and most reviewed app out there for investors to do this, to go find off market deals. We've had over 10,000 deals done using, yes, the technology, but our process. And the process of this playbook of what we're showing you guys over this month is we want to hand to you to get out there and execute on. If you are going to try us out, it's just dmzach.com. You can see it on the bottom there of your screen there. I'll pull it up on the webinar jam here for you guys too, so that way you can easily take advantage of that. We've got a 7-day free trial to help you get started with this stuff. We've also got a bunch of free marketing credits that come with that, so that way when you are reaching out to sellers, you can do as much of that for free as possible. We've had people, land deals during the 7-day free trial, which is awesome. Like, we do see people get lucky, but I will say, like, hey, the goal of this is not just to get lucky. It's to put the systems and foundation in place to do this over and over and over again, get out there, land that first deal and land many after it. Like Ryan right here, who we're pulling the playbook from this challenge, from what Ryan went through, where he did a 30-day challenge himself, 17 days in, did a deal, has done over 400 wholesale deals since then. So see people get out there, run with this thing. And it's awesome to see when people build their own business and change their life doing the playbook that we're sharing with you guys. So, the next 15 days, to really kind of outline the challenge here for you quickly before we jump into the trainings today, we have weekly live trainings every single Friday. So this time, same place, same time, we keep sending out the link via email for you to join. Every Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. We try to keep it to about an hour or so. We give you the playbook. We try to help you overcome challenges. I know we're going to be monitoring the chat here, trying to take questions throughout this as we can. We assign you homework, so that's really, the goal is, again, it's not just a passive, webinar or training or whatever. It's a challenge. It's you getting out there and taking action on this stuff. Again, I know we're hammering that, but that truly is the thing that separates the people who have success in this from the people who don't. And then we want to hold you accountable. We want to give out prizes that you qualify for the people who are taking action, who are leading with this, who are showing up and doing the homework and turning it in week after week. So we're asking you to do the homework. I know last week we really talked about qualifying for free giveaways by, again, building your list and marketing that list. So I'm going to get into the first giveaway here. Zach, is there anything else when it comes to the challenge or getting people fired up for the second half of it you want to touch on before we start jumping into the training today?
I mean, the most important part, guys, is just, I hate to say, you got to just consistently show up. And so one really important part with drawing for dollars is every single ugly house you find, you get close to that goal. And so usually 400 a month's the magic number. 500 would be personally the best if you actually want to get the results there. But honestly, guys, if you just pull up every single day and do it right, and you got to understand your why. The one really important part is your why must make you cry. And if you're getting this challenge, and the reason why you're getting this challenge, and the reason why you're trying to get your first deal, trying to make your first $20,000, $30,000 in this business is not making you cry, it's not the right thing to do. Your why must make you cry. And if it's not, you're in the wrong challenge here. And I know for every single person, for you to get out of that job, for you to take care of your mom, your family, all these things, it hurts to think about what if, it doesn't work out. But you can make that change. This is actually in your control right now. And the biggest thing you can get in your control is get in that car, find those houses.
Absolutely. I love to see Kenny right in the chat right now saying knocking on doors, make the calls consistently. Absolutely, man. There we go. I love to see that. So the chat's blowing up, trying to get people go back and forth here and network with each other. Rhonda said she closed the deal I closed on a deal next week from Driving for Dollars, sending a postcard from Deal Machine, $8,000 fee. Boom. There we go. Rhonda Wilson on here.
Okay. All right.
Love to see that. People making things happen.
Wow.
Awesome, guys. Here, I'll broadcast that to the room here. Fantastic, Rhonda. Can you give her congrats in the chat here too, guys? Cheer each other on. I love to see that people are jumping in and be able to
close on a deal next week from Trying for Dollars. $8,000.
That's awesome.
That's insane. $8,000 from just the challenge. I'm telling you, she ain't the first person, but this is 3 weeks in, right?
Yeah, well, 2 weeks
all done.
Yeah. Day 15.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you guys, someone's got your money. It's out there. You just got to go and get it. It's a treasure. And the treasure is one man's trash is another man's treasure. Trashed house, treasure. That's it. $8,000. It's amazing. Even if she's the only person ever get a deal from this challenge, I feel like it's a success because at least it got her to get out there and actually make a change in her life. I know you probably should do it too if you're watching this. And I know most people are doing it too. So guys, go out there and do it. I want you to be the next success story. And I don't do this because I think it's going to change the world, right? Guys, I get it from freewholesaling.com. I get enough checks sent to me every single day. I know it. But it's just to do that extra push on the people that don't want to get out of bed. They want to feel sorry for themselves. Get out there, get to work.
Love it. So yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to go to drivewithzach.com to sign up to be on the webinar jam. You get the full webinars there. And that's where we're pulling these comments from. But Rhonda, that is amazing. I love to see that. Again, we've had over 10,000 people or 10,000 deals done rather using the Deal Machine app. So we want you guys to be next and getting out there. And we've interviewed hundreds of people on our YouTube channel talking about this. So follow this playbook. This is what we're trying to lay out there for you over this entire month, is showing you here's what they did. You go do it too. And again, whether you're using the machine or not, we try to make tech to make it easy for you, but get out there and just execute on this playbook, guys. And Rhonda, that is amazing. So congratulations to her. As we go through this, again, we do have another giveaway today. We're every single week. The people who do the homework, the people who are the action takers here, who turn it in, who post on the Facebook group, you qualify for this giveaway. And I wanted to make sure even the people who went in and posted on the Facebook group, I know we're always approving those posts. There's, over 100,000 people in there. So I don't even know how you keep up with it, Zach. But yeah, it's got to be a lot of time. But for the people in there, even if your post is pending currently, I still got you guys in the drawing, so you're good to go. Don't worry about that. But I do want to go through and give away, based on people who did the homework for last week, give away this $800 plus prize here, where our homework last time, if you, again, watch the replays if you missed the last one, but last week we said, hey, build your list of driving for dollars leads, add another 100 leads to it. Week 1, it was 100 leads. Week 2, 100 leads. Getting out there, being consistent, starting to build this system, getting better and better at this. So 200 total was the goal. And then market to at least 100 of them in at least one way. Last week we talked about reverse driving for dollars. We talked about calling, texting, emailing, door knocking, postcards, all kinds of stuff. So we gave you a ton of different ways to reach out to people. You turned it in by posting in the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group. So make sure to take that extra step too. I remind you guys over email to do that. But everybody who's in this drawing now, who I've got pulled up, I have them all tagged in my email right here. I'm going to do a random selection, random number generator here for you guys. Everyone who did this followed through with those steps. So today's big giveaway winner, which is going to be $800 plus. It's an entire year Deal Machine free. It's a $100 worth of free marketing credits. So you are set up. You're like obligated to get a deal, guys. Like you've got everything you could need for an entire year. Get out there and go do this deal with all this stuff for free. So Zach, if you give me a little drum roll, please, man, I'm going to go to select here.
So we got $800.
All right. Let's see. And they got to be on live to win this thing.
They have to be.
I think I see the name on here. So they are on live. Let me post this in the chat. It is Jasmine Wagner.
Okay.
So I see Jasmine in here. Congratulations.
Congrats.
Awesome. Comment in the chat, Jasmine. Everybody else put a little congratulations for her too. I know the real goal, obviously, throughout this thing is to go land a deal, but it doesn't hurt to win this thing in the meantime. Awesome. There we go. Jasmine jumping in. Hell yeah. Love it. Fantastic. Congrats. Awesome, guys. Way to support her too.
Awesome. So we'll put her I'll put it in the chat for everyone. Guys, you got to be in drivewithzach.com to get the free stuff, FYI. So we got, just FYI, if you're watching this on YouTube, Jasmine Wagner got it. 1 year, dmzach.com for free. And I believe we got even more prizes than that next week. If you go to, literally, all you have to do is just go to drivewithzach.com. You'll be in there. If you hop on the challenges and do it. Guys, I just want you to know that if you show up and even if you participate, you're going to get a lot of great stuff to win. Even if you don't win this, oh no, you got 500 driving for dollars leads that you have to market to. Oh no, you get a wholesaling deal. Great for Jasmine, but I'm kind of more excited for Rhonda, who got an $8,000 deal.
That's the real prize.
Not $800, but $8,000. She got a Deal Machine for 10 years.
Yeah, no kidding, man.
Right? So,
yeah,
guys, the real winner is you when you get that deal. And the cool part about a deal is you never know when you wake up in the morning when that next driving for dollars lead is going to actually be the deal. You never know. I'm telling you, go out today and make today the day that you get that deal. It'll happen. I promise you.
Absolutely. Yeah, it really is. If you follow putting in the numbers, putting in the work here, it truly is a matter of when you land that deal, not if, because, you do it enough times, you get the reps in, you're going to find people who, again, you can provide value to and are willing to trade a good deal because you're solving a problem for them. And that's what we're going to talk about today too. We're going to talk about getting into today's training. We're going to do a quick recap again of kind of the kickoff and then also week 2, just briefly here, just for a few minutes. And then for today's training, we're going to be talking through, as you're building this list of leads, how do I consistently follow up? How do I make sure that a lead never slips through the cracks? How do I have a great conversation with a seller, be able to address some of those objections and address mindset on that. And then even talking through a little bit on comps too. Okay, now I need to make an offer to the seller. How do I come up with that offer? So we're going to cover a lot of ground today. Again, you've got freewholesaling.com, right? To be able to really dig into this stuff, in terms of comping and making offers. And I mean, Zach, you've got so many resources over there.
Okay. I mean, guys, just go to freewholesaling.com if you want to learn how to wholesale for free. And then once you learn what to do, then you have to do. Learn, then do. But don't be stuck in the learn stage. I mean, you need like a couple days, maybe take this weekend, go through the course, and then boom, you're getting ready to go out there. I can train anyone to go out here and get a wholesaling deal, right? It's just get in the car, look for ugly houses. That's it.
There we go. So what we'll talk about today, we're going to kick off in week 2 live training recap here for you guys, just a few minutes, and then get into the meat of the discussion there. We'll wrap up with the homework, really tell you guys, hey, here's what to do to go out and win those next prizes. And I've actually wrangled David into coming on to do a couple of the next trainings with you guys too, our CEO and founder. Yeah, you'll have David, direct line to David next time. Be able to ask him questions, and he's practicing what we preach too, man. He's actively out there wholesaling, building his own portfolio in addition to running Deal Machine. Like it's he's a machine.
Love it.
So awesome, guys. So fantastic. Well, what I want to get into to start off week 1, again, we really focused on building your list of motivated sellers. So we'll talk about, again, kind of some concepts we taught you guys here. I'll briefly show it off in the app here in just a few minutes, but really our main focus for what we talked about primarily on this thing is driving for dollars, right? It's a 30-day driving for deals challenge. And what you're looking for, it's those rundown houses. It's the houses that have, really obvious stuff, the tarp on the roof, gutters falling off, broken boarded up windows, really overgrown grass, really rough mailboxes, signs that it's a vacant house like that. Signs that it's outdated. You've got the window AC in it. You've got those, old school aluminum awnings, like things like that. I also use the example, hey, our first hire, you don't have to find the most obvious thing. Our first hire got his first deal using Deal Machine, getting out there and finding a house that had Halloween decorations up, but it was March. So just showing you like, hey, if people aren't just keeping up with the appearance of the property for whatever reason, add that lead. Don't be too conservative about it. Just add that lead and keep going. So, main reason being too, with these leads, hey, they're, again, the number one indicator of a motivated seller is they have a rundown house, a house that they don't want to deal with or can't deal with anymore, and that they have a problem you can solve, that you can potentially fix. Again, using speed, convenience, cash, these other things you can bring to the table. And then secondarily, these leads are the least competitive leads out there, because you're going out there, you're putting in that sweat equity, you're putting in the work, you're going out and driving when other people aren't willing to spend the time to do that. Like you're grinding, you're getting in that again, the grind week right here, you're getting in that hustle mindset of, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to build a really qualified list of leads by finding those properties, excuse me, that don't show up on any old list that you pull. So going in there, if you're going to use Deal Machine to help you out with this, again, it's dmzach.com for that 7-day free trial to try it out. You get a bunch of free marketing credits with it as well. That's what we talked about week 2. So we'll move on to that in here in a second. I'll just briefly show up in the Deal Machine app right here, and I'll make sure not to be sharing too much or sharing any kind of private stuff here for people. But just showing off inside the Deal Machine app right here, what you can see right away is here's how you drive for dollars. We've got, this is the desktop version. We have a mobile app as well that, if you add a lead on either of them, it's going to show up in the same place. So you can, use both in tandem. If you use the mobile app, it's going to lock onto your location, and then you drive around and again, start looking for those rundown houses. So you can click over to satellite view if you want to see it that way. A lot of people prefer that as they're driving around, but I'll keep it to standard just for this demo. Going in here, all the black dots around you, those are all, here, let me refresh this. There you go. All the black dots around you, those are all properties that you simply, tap and add that lead. You can, hold up your phone to it as well, and it's got like a little augmented reality, feature in it, so it'll know what you're pointing at. You hit add lead on there, and go. You're good to go. So, I would say, first and foremost, that don't overthink it. Keep it like that, where you're driving around, you're looking for those rundown houses, you're tapping on the property, you're adding that lead, you're moving on to the next one. So that was the goal with the homework. First and foremost was get out there, find those first 100 properties. Just by driving around, tapping those properties in the app, adding them. If you're watching the replay now, and again, it's drivewithzach.com, or if you're replay, or if this is day 1 for you, if you're just seeing this for the first time, drivewithzach.com. You get on the email list for all the the assignments moving forward and the giveaways and everything. But being able to catch up quickly, if you just click on in the map, top left corner, you've got this map mode, and you can switch the pin mode to tap to add mode. You can do that inside the mobile app as well. And you just simply now tap to add mode. As you drive down the street, you just as it sounds like, you tap on the property, it adds it to your list, and you see a little blue pin pop up. That means you've added those leads. So don't overthink it. Don't, we give you a lot of data, a lot of things to look at, like mortgage information, tax, lien information, property info, owner info, all kinds of stuff. Don't overthink it. Just look for those rundown houses first and foremost. Don't let that data bog you down too much. Just add that lead and keep on going. So especially if you're trying to catch up, that tap to add mode is super, super helpful to be able to drive around, tap to add as you go and keep going. So, that's, one thing I wanted to start with. I do also want to mention when you're trying to figure out like, hey, where do you need to drive or what areas are good to drive in, this highlights button can be super helpful because you can click on that and look at things like, oh, are there a lot of vacant properties here? Are there a lot of foreclosures? Are there a lot of, is this a hot neighborhood? Has it had a lot of transactions lately? A lot of senior owners, tired landlords, MLS properties that have expired in listings. We have MLS data for every single state, sold data for non-disclosure states and everything. Usually you need to be an agent to get a hold of that. So you've got all this right here to be at your disposal where you can just click on and see, hey, is this a hot neighborhood? Is there a lot of transactions going on around me? And you'll start to see these highlights pop up around me. And that means that these houses have been recently sold. And, hey, there's a nice little cluster right here. This could be a good neighborhood to drive and find properties that cash buyers are going to want to buy from you. So, we talked about using data to kind of identify areas and even individual houses by highlighting these properties as you drive around, because you can highlight, vacancy or whatever other motivator you want to look for and have that there too. As you drive around, it's going to track your route. So you'll see little green lines pop up. I don't know if I've driven around here anytime recently, so let me choose another area here for you guys. But you'll start to see these green lines pop up around you, and it'll track your route to show you where you've driven. Over, at 6 months, it'll turn yellow. Here you go. At 6 months, it'll turn yellow. So that means it's been 6 months since you drove that route. And then at 12 months, it'll turn red. So you'll be able to look at the map and see, hey, where have I driven? Make sure you use your time as efficiently and effectively as possible. And then, where else do I need to go? How do I blanket an entire area so that way I'm never redriving my routes until I mean to? And I can look and see, I did a deal over there and now it's all yellow over there. Let me redrive that stuff. Like that was a good area to keep driving and redrive it every 6 months or so is recommended. So it tracks your routes. And then the final two things we showed off, one was adding drivers. So if you're on Deal Machine Pro, you can actually click on your profile, go to team, add a driver right here who, you just give them permission to only add leads instead of accessing billing or any other leads. And as you do that there, then Ellie can get in there and drive around for me. And, I can track his routes too. I can go in here and say, hey, show me all of the past routes Elliot's done. And, it'll give me these exact routes. It'll show me exactly where he drove, the leads he added, all of that. And, really give me an exact time frame and show me all those leads that he pinned right here. So, I can kind of manage an entire driving team of bird dogs within Deal Machine if you want to go that route and really kind of take it to the next level. We showed you guys that in week 1. And then finally, virtual driving for dollars. When you hit the start driving button, you can click anywhere on the street, be able to let me switch off of tap to add mode, click anywhere on the street, pull that up, start driving, and boom, as you go, you'll be able to see like, hey, just like in real life, you're gonna drive for dollars virtually as well. Click down the street and there you have it. Like it'll track your route and everything there too. So that's what you're looking at there. And we gave you, again, if you're going to invest in an area that's not where you're physically based, if it's if it's hard to get out during the day, if you want to multitask and literally sit on your couch and click for dollars here by virtually driving on your phone, you can do that too. So we want to give you as many tools at your disposal, make this as easy as possible to go find those rundown houses. So Zach, is there anything you wanted to reiterate there on the D4D stuff before we get to the marketing recap?
I think the most important part is when you're driving for dollars is like the ugly houses are clustered together. And so whenever I have a good deal, there's always, I do deals in certain areas. So like a couple streets over, there's going to be another good deal. And so wherever you've done it, for anyone that watching this has done a wholesaling deal, find where those wholesale. So usually there's a guy like did like 3 or 4 deals. I'm like, map out where you get those deals, go to that house and then drive around it. I promise you get deals doing that. And that's the biggest part. So if you have a cluster of code violations, go put the sticky notes out. And then when I drive from code violation A to code violation B, in between there, I'm going to drive through the neighborhoods and I'm going to see those ugly houses. My best driving for dollars leads have always been between houses I've been doing. And so I see one deal and I go to the other deal and the house is in between those 2 deals. So maybe I'll wholesale like at Main Street and then I'm going to drive all the way to 4th Avenue, and they're like kind of like a mile apart, I'm going to drive really slowly to that second walkthrough I'm doing or second appointment because I'm going to see ugly houses every time. I cannot tell you how many times I've done 2 appointments, right? And I go to one appointment, lock up the deal because that's how I do it, and then I go to the next deal, and I always give myself like 20 minutes ahead of time because I always have to stop and I see an ugly house every time, and those are always the best deals, and it's great data. And so Look for the ugly houses and go through it. I think a lot of people feel like, oh, I have to do 100 leads in an hour, or no. And then we have another people on the other spectrum. It's like, oh, I need to make sure that the house is like the most disgusting house possible. It's not that either. It's kind of a little bit of both. And so the always way I look at it is, if it's got at least one motivating factor, put it on the list. When in doubt, put it on the list.
Yep.
That's always what I found. So even if like just the grass is a little too tall, yeah, you should probably just put it on the list. Is there a little bit of mold going on there? Oh, broken window, boarded window. Just do it. I promise you, over time, most of those won't be deals. But if you do at least 20 of those, I don't know, one of them's going to hit. And that's always the point. It's better to market to a lead and it not be a deal than to miss out on that opportunity. Because I get people said, I only have 2 drawing for dollars leads in an hour. It's like you're being way too like, I got to find the ugly houses. And know your area too. I got one guy, he posts, he's like, I got 100 drawing for dollars leads in an hour. I'm like, yeah, you went to the highest crime area possible. And then like, of course you're going to find them all, but they're all abandoned. They're all Section 8. And a lot of those things you actually can't avoid when you're using drawing for dollars and deal machines. Like you click on it, it says, oh, the basically housing urban development owns the house. It's like, okay, don't put that on there, right? Obviously. But yeah, I always tell you, avoid. I mean, you guys know where the rough areas are. The best thing I could tell you is find cheap houses in low crime areas. That is hands down the best areas for drawing for dollars I've always found.
Great tips, man. Yeah, and I think you nailed it as well on the marketing front. Like, it is a numbers game. It's, be a little conservative, or don't be conservative when you add leads. Like, just get out there and add leads that are have a little bit of distress. Like, I would default to that rather than being really picky about it. I will show you guys one strategy today where you can kind of identify even the best leads in your list to be able to really focus on. That'll be kind of part of what we talk about today in the meat of the training. But I want to just reiterate that basically, week 1 was all about building that list, and week 2 was, okay, now that you have that list of leads, you really need to market to them heavily. You really need to focus on following up consistently, because if there's any secret sauce of how to stand out from the competition, it's having a consistent marketing mix to sellers that you can get in front of them multiple times. Where, if we look at the data, for example, we talked about this last week. If we look at the data and you have somebody who is a qualified lead, they're going to sell their house, there's somebody who is actually doing a transaction, and you've only marketed them in one way, one time, you're missing out on that call back like 85% of the time, 85% plus. It's 85 point something. And if you only sent 3, marketing methods to them, 3 marketing touch points, you're still missing out on that call back like 52% of the time, 52 point something. Oh, yeah. So the goal here is have this kind of marketing approach where you can be doing a couple different things here, where we talked about last week, combining short-term marketing with long-term marketing. And how on the deal machine front, what we see again working at time and time again is short-term marketing being things that take this one-to-one outreach, like calling, texting, email, even reverse D4D up in there, where you're getting out there and you're putting sticky notes on the door, like anything like that takes your effort to get out there and reach out to a seller directly. I'll put that under kind of the short-term marketing strategy bucket. And then, how do we get to more and more touch points with somebody? How do we put ourselves in the upper echelon of those stats of, hey, yeah, they're going to actually call me back because they've been getting my name and they've been thinking of me. Use automation to do that. Use the power of technology to be able to scale this strategy. And for us, it's postcards, it's direct mail, it's being able to go in a deal machine and set it and forget it and say, hey, send them a postcard, once every couple of weeks or once every month or so, and it'll automatically do that for you. So inside the app here, and you keep the screen share off on social if that works. Again, if you want to see the full breakdown on all this stuff we're showing you guys, go to drivewithzach.com. You'll be able to get invited to the webinar jam that we're showing this off right now as well in there. But on that front, as you add these leads, as you pin properties, they all go to the leads tab inside Deal Machine. You click on a property and you can quickly see 2 buttons right there. You've got the skip trace button and you've got the start mail button. And skip trace, you click on it, it's going to come back. Let's see what we get here. 3 phone numbers. It's going to tell you, mobile versus landline. It's going to tell you the do not call list. It's going to tell you, is it disconnected or connected? What's the caller ID? All this information is premium skip trace data to be able to sort out and say like, oh yeah, here's how I get in touch with Willie right here. This is the number that fits best. So being able to come in and use those numbers to be able to call, text, emails will come back if we have that data as well. You've got all of that at your disposal right there for you to start with. The start mail button's the other one. That's the long-term marketing strategy, right? So if you hit start mail, you'll be able to see, hey, it's going to send out postcards every 21 days is my default setting. It's going to send it out 6 times. That way it's really giving me a chance that hey, over 5-6 months, they're going to have a chance of thinking of me because I'm going to consistently hit the top of their mailbox, right? And be able to give them a chance to save my postcard and, save my number and really, give me a call when they're ready to sell. But we've got about 9 or 10 default templates inside Deal Machine that the Ryan Haywood guy I started off with, he uses those default templates, has landed hundreds of deals with them. So you can just, you're set up for success with those templates. You can go into this mail tab up here and click on postcard designs and be able to customize all of that, customize sizing, wording, edit them to be able to really make it fit your own brand and feel. But again, don't overthink it. It's about leading with action and just hit send postcard and, put them on an automated campaign there. As you do that, you do have a mail center that'll track and budget for you. So that way you can look and see, hey, I've sent 24 of them. I'm going to send out 23 more this month. Here's how much I'm going to spend on it. If you're doing dmzach.com for that 7-day free trial, you get $30 free of postcards. You get about 50 free postcards doing this. So you're going to be able to send out a bunch already to sellers that way. But, you do have this kind of mail center to really track and make sure you're monitoring the results of that and tracking your ROI on that too. And then finally, we talked about mail sequences, which is a way to be able to really automate how you send out mail. And you can say, yeah, send them this postcard, then this postcard, then a handwritten letter, which we do have that option inside Deal Machine, ballpoint marketing. You can send that. You can really mix it up and sizing and all kinds of fun stuff. So when it comes to mail, you can really switch it up and really get their attention by using a variety of different templates. So we talked skip tracing, we talked direct mail. And then finally, we talked about reverse driving for dollars, which I love that strategy, man. If you come in here and you have any kind of list that you import into Deal Machine from anywhere else, or if you use our list builder tool, which comes with your Deal Machine as well, you can pull a list really quickly and just say, hey, yeah, show me all the, foreclosures around me, and just pull that list and work from there. Or, use data to kind of come up with that initial list that, again, you can market to those, but where you're going to get the best bang for your buck, by far the least number of leads that you need to spend your time and market to is the ones you take that extra step and drive for dollars or reverse drive for dollars too, where the reverse D4D is, hey, you've pulled a list. Awesome. Well, now you can pull up that. And if you're on Deal Machine Pro, you get a drive this list button right here, which is a planned route. And you can click on that and it'll tell you, hey, here's turn-by-turn navigation to every single one of these properties. Here's how to get there the fastest route possible. It's going to take you about 3 hours to drive this list. I can door knock it. I can leave sticky notes on it. I can do all kinds of stuff in person, as I go, and really use this as a way to kind of take your marketing to the next level. So, Zach, is there anything on the marketing front when it comes to, reverse D4D or anything like that you wanted to explain? Or
you do better with it. So either you do it or you don't. If you want a better chance of getting a wholesaling deal and an extra 3 seconds of your time, put the sticky note out. If not, there's not much else you can do. I tell everyone to do it, but the percentage of people that do it are way less because it's a little hard. It's a little too difficult. Do you want to stay where you're at in your life right now, or do you actually want to make a change? To make a change, you're going to have to get uncomfortable. When you grow, there's growing pains, and it's going to be uncomfortable. But I promise you, after 15 sticky notes, it's like, okay, whatever, right? Most people's battle with their own head, not with actually what's going on. And so put the sticky notes out. If you want to go to bed every night and say, hey, I tried everything I possibly could in this challenge to get a deal, do it. I can look at any person at this challenge, and they're all going to come up to me. They're all going to go in the one-on-ones and say, I did the challenge and it didn't work. All I have to do is look at your marketing, and I can tell exactly how much money you made. When you say, oh, I only did 50 this week because it was just so difficult. I was so tired. Okay. If you want to stay tired and stay broke, stay broke. Want to make a change, make a change. It's both going to be uncomfortable. They're both going to suck. You got to make that change now. It's grind week. You got to do it.
Grind week. Absolutely.
The reason why it's grind week is because if I can completely correlate your results to your actions. That's why I always say actions equal results. So if you see your actions sucked, then your results are going to suck. That's it. Every single person that does deals on this challenge, they put amazing results. They put amazing action in, and they got amazing results. That's it. Nothing in life is given to you, so you got to earn it.
Awesome, man. I know before we jump into the new stuff as we go through this training too, I want to show off one last little thing. I know last week we talked about, and we're going to be doing, David's likely going to be jumping in and showing off Alma, our AI assistant, one of these weeks coming up too, a real deep dive on it. But we talked about it last week too. We have a little, if you're on Deal Machine Pro, we have a little AI assistant built into Deal Machine now too. First of its kind AI to help you really be kind of a co-pilot for driving for dollars and a co-pilot for finding off-market deals, where, you think about like ChatGPT, combine that with off-market property data that we have, all this prompting that we put into it as well. So that way it is a very specialized, focused version of that technology. And that's why you can get so much more out of it, is that it's specialized and it's working off data that you can't get other places. So coming into here, it can help you do things like getting in touch with the seller, writing text messages to the seller, what should I put on my postcard, help me skip trace right there, do all kinds of stuff with it. And we'll talk about that again today as well on, other ways that you can be leveraging it with, deal analysis. So I'm ready to get into the new stuff here, Zach. I think people are fired up, ready. Again, that part we just went through is extremely important to reiterate for people because, hey, like you said, it's grind week. You got to get out there. You got to, it comes down to the lifeblood is finding leads and marketing those leads. So what we just went over today, very, very important to understand, very important to help you continue to take the next level. Once you have that and you're starting to get these conversations going, now it's talking, now we can really get to this kind of next level of making sure you follow through on everything you say you're going to do, help you really address conversations with sellers. So I'll go over a couple of pro tips around mindset and things that we see are kind of common factors across the board that make you successful when talking to sellers. And then I can talk through a little bit on the comps tool as well, because we have a way to help you kind of come to that max allowable offer number. And then again, we'll wrap up with the homework and bonuses and let you guys go out there and hit grind week hard. So Zach, does that sound good? Anything else you want to cover today, man?
Pumped up. Let's get into it.
Awesome. So to kind of begin with, again, you should be up to 200 leads now. If you're brand new to this, that's okay. You have time to catch up, time to get into this. Again, it's dmzach.com to be able to try out Deal Machine to help you catch up. But getting out there, being able to start off, what I want to talk about this week is really talking about not letting a lead slip through the cracks because you have effective follow-up and effective systems in place that you're always following through with what you say you're going to do. And it's something that I'd say, 90% of salespeople don't do as well as they would like to. Like that is one thing that takes that follow-up, takes that grind and sales really in the end, like, you're acting as somebody who's, speaking to an end customer. It's a lot of what we see there, especially if you have any kind of sales skills or you've ever done anything in that world, that definitely helps you. And you'll continue you're preset with a little bit of a good skill set to be able to talk to sellers here if you're used to that, conversation. But regardless of that, going in here, having a CRM to really track a lot of this stuff, having a CRM, customer relationship management tool to be able to help you kind of track a pipeline, help you follow up with leads, help you set tasks and take notes for yourself is extremely helpful. And so here, Zach, you want to turn off the screen share one more time on social. Yeah. Again, it's drivewithzach.com to be able to see everything I'm showing off here on the screen share. But going into the actual software here, this leads tab is essentially a CRM. So it's essentially a kind of a lightweight version of every lead you add, whether it be through List Builder, through importing a list, through driving for dollars, whatever property you're adding into here, whatever addresses, all of them live in this leads tab right here for you. And as you go through this, you can, import a list. You can export this list really easily, clicking on, here, and go down and be able to export your leads there. So you've got a lot of things you can do to make this play well with other softwares or any other process you have. But really, I want to point out a couple of things that we see the most successful people doing over and over again. First and foremost, this lead status right here. This is kind of like your pipe. Think about it as a pipeline where, I first put in the lead, then I'm marketing to it, with marketing right here, marketing to it. Then I'm, the goal is to set an appointment, be able to chat with that person and set an appointment. I've sent an offer. That's kind of the next stage, following up, try to get it under contract and close it or lose that deal. So as you go through the stages with somebody, try to update this little pipeline right here, where if I set an appointment, update that there. And now as I go through and manage that, I can use this filters button right here, and I can take my 21,000 plus leads I have in here and hit filters, create a filter and see like, hey, which ones am I actually, do I have an appointment coming up with, or if I sent an offer to, or, things like that. Just confirm that, and you'll be able to see, that one that I've got two right here that I've set up. Hey, that nails that list down for you. And this is something that right away, as you're going out there and just adding those first, 100, 200, 300 leads, 400 leads, doesn't seem like a big deal to get good at this part of it. But it's something that if you set the foundation now, you are setting yourself up for long-term success, because what you do now, likely is what you're going to do later. Like, put good habits in place right now to get good at follow-up and get good at follow-through and get good at always tracking these leads throughout the process. So that way, again, as you have one conversation with a seller, probably not a big deal. As you start to have 5, 10, 20, going, then this stuff does matter. So, again, it's lead status, work on that. Filtering, what's great about filtering too, if you're going around, when you add a lead inside Deal Machine, you'll see these tags come up. It gives you an option to tag those properties. You can create your own custom tags as well. I love doing that. Like I have a high priority tag. I have a severely distressed tag. I have a couple things like that really help me categorize properties when I add them. But filtering by tags, going to tags and saying, yeah, show me high priority leads for me to work right now and cold call right now. Hey, I just nailed 21,000 down to 118. So I know who's going to be my best bang for buck, where I'm going to be spending most of my time is on those properties that I tag as high priority. So thinking through tags and filters, definitely helpful. Final two things. You've got note takers, or notes for individual conversations, and you have a task manager. So whenever you go into any individual property right here, I click on that lead, I can see, hey, I've got, an activity tab on this, this corner right here. Click on that, hit add note or add task. And that way, every time I have a conversation with them, whenever I pick up back with them, I know exactly where I left off. I know what their motivations are. I know why they're looking to sell. I even know personal information if I gather that from them. They've got kids, they're dealing with, this or that. Like, I use this as a way to stay organized and always, really just show that you care about them as a person. And you build so much more trust if you are very genuine and pick up on that conversation, knowing those nuances. Like, that sets you apart. And we see people all the time buying properties for less, because, that less than their competitor or even competing offers, because they built such a high quality relationship with that seller in the process. And it's little things like this of tracking notes and being able to come to a conversation, knowing how to talk to them, knowing how to pick up on that conversation and really demonstrate that you care about them and that you're focused on solving a problem for them by being organized with these notes, versus just coming in and seeing it as a transaction. So being able to come in and do that, staying organized with the notes, and then the task manager, click on task. And, if I have an appointment with this person tomorrow, I can say, cool, they told me to come by at 3 p.m. tomorrow. Awesome. Make it for myself for tomorrow, create that task. And now every single day, this is what I mean by putting the right systems and processes in place. Every single day I jump into Deal Machine, I go to my task manager in this top right corner. I click on that task number and I can see, oh yeah, I need to, go on that appointment today, check that off the list, and then keep going. So use this as a way to be able to build this into your routine, take notes about conversations, add tasks about how to follow up with leads and you're properly and on time. And you're going to set yourself far ahead of many people who aren't treating this like a real business. So, yeah. Any other tips there, Zach? And you can switch back on the screen share.
No, I mean, it's grind week. Just get the work done. It's a simple. I mean, we can go talk about doing the work all day, but just go and do it. Either you're accountable to yourself, or, I mean, you don't have to be accountable to me. You just got to be accountable to yourself. And either you did the leads or you didn't. and you know in your heart if you're actually genuine in your efforts or not.
Absolutely. Yeah. And to really go in and have those conversations, we started talking last week around how to talk to sellers, what questions to ask. There's a couple things I want to reiterate on these slides here. So I think I got 2 on it. Here we go. So talking about mindset, when you go into a conversation with a motivated seller, a couple quick things that we see the most successful salespeople doing. One is they come in trying to find out find those people who want your help, rather than convincing people who are just tire kickers, who are just, saying like, oh yeah, make me an offer, rather than somebody who has a real motivation to sell, that you can, come in and help solve that problem for them, by listening to them and asking great questions around what they want and why they want it. Again, the listening part, that is absolutely key. Like the person who is listening in the conversation and is serving the other, that's the one who's controlling the conversation there. Many people think that they just want to come in and just, spout off and be the one doing all the talking. It's actually the one who's doing the listening that's actually going to be successful and really, have control and build trust in the relationship. One thing, I don't know if Zach, if you talk about Never Split the Difference, that's our number 1 negotiation book we've seen out there. It's Chris Voss is the author. Highly recommend that one. Labeling and mirroring are two ways about getting more information from a seller, where labeling is essentially making a conclusion for them, stating something for them, saying, oh yeah, so obviously you're gonna list this property, or obviously you're gonna do XYZ. And being able to lead with that kind of label and have them say, well, actually, no, here's why I'm not going to do that. You can pull a lot of information that way from somebody, of them really opening up if you label something and try to hear their thoughts on that. And then mirroring is the other strategy that is a big takeaway, where if they say if they say I don't want to deal with this property anymore, and you say you don't want to deal with it anymore, you mirror and you ask it as a question. That's an invite for them to give you more information, to be able to continue that conversation and give you more around, hey, here's what they're thinking and why they're interested in talking to you. So labeling, mirroring, highly recommend that book for you guys. Booking in-person appointments, always that's something that we see people have a higher success rate with, just because you get body language. You can see the crossed arms if they have it, or you can kind of see how they're reacting. Even a Zoom line is going to get you a lot better than a phone call if possible. And then when you're actually talking to the seller, again, ask about motivations for selling, timeline, the property condition, and then finally getting to price. A lot of times the price, can even almost be a byproduct of you solving a real problem for them. The questions that they ask you, consider those objections. Like, even if they lead with, hey, who is this? Just answer that directly. They're really asking, like, why are you calling me? What can I trust you? Things like that on a deeper level. Right. So answer those directly. And you're always trying to follow up with a question to be able to learn more about what they're dealing with. So try to get used to that, quick answer and question kind of rapport there. And, a couple other things, pulling away to get real motivations. So leading with suggesting them solutions like, hey, why don't you keep this as a rental? Or, why don't you just list it with an agent or something like that? Offering these solutions, while it can be scary to do that because you put a lot of work in to get that conversation right, the real motivations might come out when they say, oh, actually, we don't want to list with an agent, or we don't want to keep it as a rental, or XYZ. You have a lot of opportunity to get more information, by leading with those. And then finally, if they throw up an objection like, hey, I need to talk to an attorney, I need to talk to a family member, what have you, like, I highly recommend not arguing with them on that. You can agree and say, oh yeah, it's, you should definitely talk to your sister about that. Great. Well, hey, I need to go, fill up my gas tank anyway. I'll go do that. I'll be right back. You call your sister and we'll talk about what she has to say after that. Like, give them kind of an easy next step to accomplish, where you can overcome that barrier, and they either take action on it, or you get the real the real barrier after that. And you're going to save a lot of time if you can try to get all decision makers at the table for that sales conversation, like doing things like checking the title and all of that for that next call, for that next meeting, rather than them having to say, oh yeah, I've got to get this approval or this approval before I sell the house. So these are all things. Zach, is there anything that you think that you disagree with, or that you want to add on this, or that you think I missed there? I know obviously you've got a ton of great resources, and we could spend a ton of time on this alone, but I wanted to at least share a few of these nuggets with people.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, pretty basic. Just go to freeholding.com, learn how to talk to sellers, use the scripts with the leads, and you'll close the deals. I got sent one guy's contract from Guru. It was the worst contract I ever heard. Just go to our contract, freeholding.com, follow the script. It works for hundreds of thousands of people who work for you. Easy as that.
There we go. Awesome. So final thing I want to show you guys, I know we're running up on time here. I'll show this for just a minute and then we'll get into the homework and let you guys go here. But final thing is when you get to that actual pricing conversation, how to understand how to make an offer. So you have some awesome tools inside Deal Machine to help you out with this. Zach, you'll want to turn off the screen share one last time for this one. But jumping into the Deal Machine app here, again, go to drivewithzach.com if you're watching on social media. If you want to get full access to all this stuff, the replays, the giveaways, you're going to join the email list essentially that way. And we'll be able to send out all this stuff for you for the next 15 days now that we're halfway in and on grind week right now. But inside the Deal Machine app, if you get to that point where you're saying, yeah, let me talk price with you, cool. If you click on that lead, you've got a little comps tool right here. So let me open this up a little bit bigger for you guys. Top corner, comps, click on that. And it's going to be able to pull that up for you right away where you can actually adjust the filters. You can come in here and say like, yeah, let me zoom in a little bit here for you guys into the lead right here. You can adjust the filters where I go in, the defaults that I really recommend is MLS data because we have sold data again for every single state, even the non-disclosure states included, the 12 or 13 of those. Date range, you can put the last 90 days. You can put square footage being plus or minus 15%. Year built plus or minus 15 years is what I recommend. So it's around the same size, around the same build and architecture. And then half a mile in terms of range is, that's recommended if you can find comps that fit all that. So I've got all that lined up right here for us. And then, you can pull up the comps right there on the go. So you can do this in mobile or on the desktop and be able to come in and really look at these properties and even get MLS photos for a lot of them. Let me see if this one has any. You click into a property and here we go. So you've got the MLS photos and see like, hey, this is in good condition. The property we're dealing with, would need significant rehab compared to this. Like you can use this as a negotiation point to educate the seller and really, come to those numbers. So the comps tool, super, super helpful to kind of do this on the go. It's calculating all that right on the spot for you. The other option you have here, and I can pick a different lead. The other option you do have here is being able to use Alma, that little AI assistant right here. And again, you're going to want to kind of double check the rehab math, especially, but coming in here, you do have the prompt around, let me view this prompt. Let me calculate the offer price. And just simple as that, you hit, hey, I want to wholesale this deal. Well, it'll come in and give you a max allowable offer number based on the ARV, so based on the comps, the after repair value is the comps right there. Times 70% discount is the default. Minus repair costs, which that repair cost data, we have general property condition data inside Deal Machine. It uses that scale and then times it or multiplies it by square footage and average cost per square foot to do a rehab in that area. So you've got a pretty good general rule of thumb there. But again, the rehab, you're going to want to be able to dig in a little bit further. I know, Zach, you guys at freewholesaling.com, you've got some great stuff on how to come up with offers as well. But pretty cool that on the spot, you can see here, hey, I've got almost 300K ARV. I've got about 100K repair. I can put in a wholesale fee and really actually change that and say, hey, I want my wholesale fee to be 30K. What is my new max allowable offer? And you can go back and forth and it'll come back and say, well, hey, based on that, your max allowable offer, here's the exact formula to come out to. And hey, it's going to be, there we go. We got all that in place right here and really basically do the math for you on the spot. So going into that, the AI assistant, if you're on Deal Machine Pro, so if you want to try out the free trial, this is dmzach.com. Deal Machine Pro is going to give you access to Alma in addition to the comms tools for everybody, Alma's for the pro members. So, anything else on running offers here, man, you wanted to cover before we get to the homework?
It's on freeholding.com. Go follow it.
There we go. Yeah, we can't possibly cover all that in our session here, but wanted to give you guys at least kind of the main nuggets to act on. So feel free to turn on the screen share again there, man. I do want to assign homework here. So again, drivewithzach.com. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure to sign up there to get the homework emails. But by next Friday, again, this is grind week, guys. You probably picked up and guessed on what the homework is here. Add another 100 leads. It's a numbers game. It's you putting yourself in position to find enough people who may be looking to sell because they have a rundown house. And, you reach out to them enough times, which means, hey, we're going to get up to 200 leads we're recommending that you reach out to this week in at least one way, whether it be call, text, reverse D4D, send postcards, whatever you're going to do. Talked about a bunch of stuff today on how to do that and in week 2. Knock all that out. Turn in your homework by posting proof of this on the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook page. I'm monitoring that. Feel free to use that hashtag driving for deals challenge or something around that. It makes it easier for me to find it. But I will find that homework and you will qualify for the next giveaway again, worth over $800. So we're giving away each week. We're gonna have a grand prize giveaway at the end of this whole thing. You've got this, guys. This is grind week. Get out there, make things happen. Again, our next live, you got to be on live to win the giveaway. So not just turn in the homework, but be on live. We had, was it Jasmine here that won today? And then Rhonda's been doing deals already. Like, that is awesome to see the people already doing deals and already winning these giveaways by leading with being an action taker. So you got to be on next week to win this thing. To help you do the homework, again, we have 2 offers. We've got dmzach.com. That's the 7-day free trial with all the free skips and postcards. So that's one option right there for you. Be able to take advantage of that. Or if you're like, yeah, I want to do this for a full year, you want to be like Rhonda there, who paid for literally 10 years of Deal Machine, with one deal. Go in here, dealmachine.com/Zach. That is going to be your annual offer here, where if you're willing to go in and say, yeah, I'm going to pay for this for a year, you're going to get a big discount on this. So let me pull up this offer here too for you guys. Basically, this is going to get you Deal Machine Pro, which everything we showed off today is on Pro. Starter has some of it. Pro's got the multiple users. It's got the highlights, the reverse driving for dollars, the Alma Assistant, all the mail features. It has cheaper skip tracing and postcard prices. We've got all that there for you each week, for an entire year. All the free skip traces and postcards with that. And that would normally be almost $1,500. That's going to be $990. So, hey, if you're going to do this for a whole year and you're like, yeah, I want to land that $8,000 deal like Ron is doing, and you're going to commit to this, go through this versus our website. If not, if you don't have the opportunity to do that right now, that's okay. Just go to dmzach.com, try it out that way instead. So you've got both of those options for you. Want to make sure you guys were able to take advantage of those. Happy to take questions. Happy deal finding, guys. We do have office hours. I did want to mention that. We do have office hours here. I'll put this in the chat here for you guys too, but we have our head of customer success that gets on 4 days a week for an hour and takes questions about Deal Machine. So whether you're reaching out to support or to me directly, that works too, but just know you have this at your disposal as well, 4 days a week, be able to do that too. So, here are the free deals for you guys, and it's grind week. Go hit the, hit the streets and be able to get out there and start sending this marketing and making conversations happen.
Awesome.
All right. Zach, do you have a heart out right now, or I want to make sure, that we answer a few questions. I'm happy to
answer some questions.
Okay, cool. Perfect, man.
All right. So,
you take that. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Michelle's like, where does Deal Machine pull their comps? They basically, it's public record, MLS, all that stuff. So, pretty simple. I mean, not a lot of questions. A lot of people just understanding what to do and getting after it. I'll look in the webinar.
Yeah, webinar James got a couple. Yeah, there you go.
I drove first time going back and forth. Awesome. Let's see here.
Could you share the Facebook link again? I had a few people asking about that for where to turn in the homework. Again, I'm going to send out over email as well. So if you're on the webinar jam, you're signed up for that email list. If you're on social, it's drivewithzach.com to be able to sign up for that. But that's where you're going to be able to go turn that in is Wholesaling Houses for Real is the Facebook group. So
yeah, Nina said, I had someone in foreclosure call me back that already renovated 2 bathrooms, still needs the roof done, leak in the garage. And then wants to list it full retail versus wholesale. How do you respond to that? If the seller wants to go on the MLS, let them go on the MLS. Simple as that, or give them an offer. Let's see here. I put a sticky note. They got home. Bingo conversation. Boom. Awesome.
So someone asked, Kimberly said, should we call before doing extensive research on the property?
I just call. See if they want to sell. That's all you need to do. And if they want to sell, then do extensive research. So many people do that.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle's asking, do I use the 7% rule, the 80% rule? You got to go to wholesaling.com. Free wholesaling and then .com. Do that. Let's see here.
Yeah, I'll just reiterate the previous question too. For sure, like it's easy to put a lot of barriers, up and not take action. Like leading with finding leads and then reaching out to them. Really try not to overthink it, because you're going to just put in the reps to be able to get to that yes. So anyway.
All right, let's see here. How many postcards do you recommend to send a month? 50,000. If you can't do that, do as many as you possibly can. It's a joke, but like, how much drawing for dollars leads should I get? As much as you can. The more marketing equals more deals. So don't go broke doing it, but do as much marketing as you possibly can. Do 100 and then go from there. The most important part, I want to leave everyone off of this. I want you to get 100 drawing for dollars leads, but if you get those leads and you can't market to them, what's the point? Pull as much as you can market to and then go from there. Pull the 100, and then I get people saying, oh, dude, it's 100 extra. I'm like, no, call those 100. The point is not just to pull it, but pull it, then call it. If you do both of them, they'll work out. You have to do both. So pull the list, skip trace it, and then market. Awesome.
Couple quick Deal Machine questions. Somebody asked about Alma, the 70% rule. You can adjust that as well. You can say, hey, use 60% or 85% or what have you instead. Zach, do you have a general rule of thumb you really recommend?
Yeah, it's in freewholesaling.com. 70% the ARV is below 120. 120, 200 is 80, and then 200 to 280, 290 is 83, and then anything above 300 should be 85, dependent on the deal.
There we go. One other Deal Machine question. After you drive the route and finish driving, Tanisha, yeah, you can view past routes on there too. If you click on the top right corner inside Deal Machine, there's a routes button or drives button right here rather, and that's all your past routes that you can view. So you can just click on one of those and see, oh, here's where I drove and the leads I added and all that kind of stuff. So, yep.
Awesome. But yeah, guys, you got any questions, put them in the comments. I'd love to answer them. Remember, freewholesaling.com is where the knowledge is in. And then go to drivewithzach.com, get on the challenge, and see you next week. Got to grind it out. There's not much else to talk about. Like, everyone can say they're doing the work, but actually go out here and do the work yourself. So speak with your actions, not with your words, and get to it.
There we go. And here's the homework again one more time for you guys. Add 100 more leads, so 300 total. If you're just starting on day one, that's okay. Go out there and add 300. Use that tap to add node to go a little quicker. Reach out to at least 200 of those leads. We've gave you a ton of different ways to do that, both one-to-one and using automation like postcards, and then post proof of it. And, proof of the list, maybe include an update on here's how I'm reaching out to those leads. That way I know that you're following through with that too. And we'll see you guys same time, same place next week. Again, we'll have David on, and it's going to be our CEO and founder coming on, training you guys and also taking questions. So excited for that. I know, you guys have been on the past together, Zach, so he's looking forward to it.
Can't wait.
Awesome,
guys. See you next week. Appreciate it, guys.